Today I will demonstrate how SQLGrease can help you estimate the appropriate service tier and DTUs for your existing SQL Server database prior to migrating to Azure SQL Database. I will also show you how SQLGrease can help you identify the queries that are requiring you to be in a higher service tier. Last, I will show you the potential cost savings by addressing these queries. Let's get started by logging in. We'll go to the history view next. Here we can see all our queries executing within the selected time frame, which by default is 24 hours. To see the estimated DTUs associated with this workload, we need to add the estimated DTUs total chart. We can now see the DTUs and service levels associated with the query workload. We are currently looking at a 24-hour time frame. When viewing larger time frames, SQLGrease will adjust the interval between data points displayed. You can see that there are currently 15 minutes between the data points displayed. The max DTU is displayed to alert you to inspect shorter intervals to see spikes in DTU usage that are not obvious at higher intervals. The most granular interval SQLGrease will display is 1 minute. We can zoom in by dragging over the chart. At this zoom, the interval length between each data point is 1 minute. This makes a spike of 230 DTUs visible. It also indicates we should be on a premium P2 service tier. If we look at the chart above, we can see the queries contributing most to the workload. We'll inspect those next. As you can see, the statement is an update statement. The query appears to spend most of its time consuming CPU. Usually high CPU consumption is execution plan related. Let's look at the execution plan next. There is a warning on the execution plan. When you see this icon, there is a SQLGrease blog post containing additional information on this finding. In this case, we found an implicit type conversion. We can verify this by downloading and reviewing the execution plan. We'll fix this query and let SQLGrease monitor for a while to see the results of the fix. While we wait, we'll take a look at the Azure pricing calculator and see what our current cost would be with the estimated P2 pricing tier. Plugging these values in gives us an estimated cost of $930 per month. Now that we have let some time pass, let's go back and see the results of fixing our queries that had implicit type conversions. We'll advance the time frame forward by looking at the last 2 hours and drilling down into the query we fixed. It appears the query has executed since it was fixed, but now it hardly registers. We can switch the display statistic to average time. This will show us the execution counts. The query has 19 executions, but on average it ran in 2 milliseconds. We now have a new execution plan getting picked up, which no longer has a plan warning. We are still seeing the old plan displayed here since the time frame we are looking at still has some executions with the old plan. Let's take a look at our new estimated service tier and DTU usage next. We are now seeing a much lower estimated DTU value of about 7. We have a recommended service tier of S0. Let's price this out in the Azure pricing calculator. We now have an estimated price of $15 per month. We are leveraging a DTU estimator provided by Azure. The calculator isn't 100% accurate since it doesn't take into account things such as processor speed, virtual versus physical, hyper-threading, etc. However, it will give you a starting point.